And here we are, live once again on theonering.net. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Clifford Broadway, coming to you live via satellite from London. Lifestyles of the rich and famous, with Sir Robin Leach showing you the expose of the scandalous lives of the rich and famous. No, that's not the show that you're here for. It's a totally different show that you're here for. This is Torn Tuesday. What's up, Connor?
How's it going, Cliff?
You're looking for hobbits and wizards and elves and dragons? Oh my.
You already know.
And then you're at the right spot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Torn Tuesday, theonering.net. And we're getting ready for all kinds of mischief here at the Scum and Villainy Cantina, which is our home on the interwebs, where we broadcast live from Hollywood Boulevard, right here in the heart of everything. 1 block away from us, believe it or not, is the famous intersection of Hollywood and Vine, where dreams come true, spotlights, the fantastic golden age of Hollywood, all up and down these streets, the Walk of Fame with the stars on the sidewalk, mesmerized tourists who cannot find their way down the block because they're constantly staring down at the names. All the tourists with their heads down, walking along, looking at all the names and all the stars. You know how it is. Try riding a scooter or a bike through the area. It's nuts. But welcome from Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. This is theonering.net, the largest and most comprehensive 20-year-old mega fan location, fan portal, if you will, on the internet for fans of J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, The Hobbit, and Unfinished Tales. And what's this little twirly gig that we're twirling right here? What is this twirly gig that Clifford has tonight? Clifford is about to show you a unique thing. Once upon a time, 20 years ago, I started contributing and writing articles for a fan website called theonering.net. I started contributing as all volunteers do, and that's kind of how it started, because everybody who is an editor or photographer or writer or a host or the people who run the message boards for us and keep track of Barlaman's chat, which is still the best IRC chat in the world. Well, this website got together and it put a little faith investment in Clifford Broadway, yours truly, and Carlene Cordova, who was a very insightful, creative director, and she said, let's do a documentary called Ringers, Lord of the Fans. The genesis of this project was in the essence of theonering.net and the community of fans who came around it. There was one fan in particular, Larry Ross. May he forever be praised. Larry Ross gave us our first primary investment. We took our cameras down to New Zealand. We filmed all this footage on location where the capital of Rohan, the Golden Hall of Medjugorje, was there on top of this tiny hill, but it was really quite a mighty big backdrop of the Southern Alps on the South Island. And it was called Mount Sunday, this wind-swept, grass-covered hill. And we got down there, and we did this Ringers, Lord of the Fans movie that we did right there. And we did all this footage around the world. We went to London. We went to Stonehenge. And we took this film.
Did you go to London? Did you go to France?
We did. We went to Oxford. We interviewed Terry Pratchett, the
You interviewed Colleen Doran, the artist.
The Eisner Award-winning comic artist. We interviewed Chris Gore, indie filmmaker and show host.
That's right.
We interviewed,
Speaking of Chris Gore.
Wait. The guy who directed Almost Famous. Where's my brain? Where is my brain right now? Huh? Cameron Crowe. We interviewed
Crowe.
Cameron Crowe. God
How
bless you. Thank you.
embarrassing.
I am awful. I'm
How
so
embarrassing.
awful. We interviewed Cameron Crowe, and you know what he said? He said, my wife loves it. Speaking of, Nancy Wilson from Heart, the band. So
Wait,
he's like, you've
hold
got
on.
to interview Heart.
What?
We interviewed Clive Barker. We interviewed Geddy Lee from Rush.
You've got everybody in this movie.
We Led Zeppelin song.
Is it for sale again?
It is the film that the posters are available. These beautiful posters are available.
Okay.
The film is going to reappear very, very soon. An announcement is in the coming months where it will be appearing on what streaming service and where and when you can catch up with
That's
it.
exciting. Speaking of Chris Gore,
And
who
I'm
you
very
just
excited about
mentioned,
this.
Chris Gore has 6 hours left in his Kickstarter. It's for his TV show that was on G4. It was called Attack of the Show. It was one of the defining geek culture TV shows that they dared put on television. The network is no more. The show is no more. Olivia Munn got her start there. Adam Sessler, Chris Gore. There were a ton of people there. So he's got 6 hours left. I think they've done like $75,000 on their documentary Kickstarter.
Yes.
And so look up Attack of the Dock. Attack of the Dock on Kickstarter. And
it's funny that was my segue that I was actually talking about, which is the reason why I brought the poster.
Yes.
Because I'm actually working myself to hawk my own stuff here, not just Chris's stuff, but mine
you've
too.
got an Indiegogo. You've got Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
This is an Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Perk. This is a perk because there's only 25 of these left on Earth.
Really?
This original.
I should have washed my hands.
This is the 17 by 42 inch.
27 by 40.
It's 27 by 40 theatrical one sheet poster suitable for framing. It will be autographed by the filmmakers, Carlene and Clifford and Jeff Marcelletta and Josh Mandel. And you know what? There's only 25 of them left, and a couple of them have already been claimed on our Indiegogo campaign because it's a perk that we're offering for a really cool, interesting little new indie film that I'm producing. And we wanted to reach out to the Ringer fans and say, this is your last chance on Earth to get one of these Ringers posters. It won the Audience Award at Slam Dance. It was released by Sony Pictures worldwide. It's coming back to a streaming service near you. But if you want to get this poster, you got to check out Going Live on Indiegogo. On Indiegogo. And the name of our film is Going Live, and tell you something about that. My next door neighbor wrote a script, and it was such a funny, punchy little satire of this technology that we use to go live and broadcast ourselves everywhere all the time. So if you've seen, movies like the documentary The Great Hack, if you've seen that movie Searching, yes, where the interface of the film.
Yeah, Searching is good.
It's really quite good. We're also making this really cool indie film on a micro budget, and you can be part of our film family. You can be like part of that community that came together to make Ringers, and you can be part of making Going Live because we're making it for like $70,000. It's super micro budget because we're shooting it on phones and using our editing tricks to make it look like closed circuit surveillance cameras, radar,
well, that's a good idea.
Google Maps tracking you and our characters. And as the paranoia of our characters builds to a tipping point, we realize, all of this bloody surveillance is actually going on in our own lives, and therefore the black comedy punches in full time. So check out Indiegogo Going Live. It's with Oscar, Jeff, the guys who produced Ringers, Lord of the Fans, are producing this film. And thanks for checking it out, Ringer fans.
How many days left in that? Weeks.
It's got 21 days
21
left.
days
we
left.
We are 54% funded.
You're right on track. You're right on track.
Yesterday, somebody just bought a $6,000 painting because our director is also a world-renowned Mexican surrealist painter. He does these massive canvases.
Very good.
He just sold a $6,000 perk. You don't have to do that. You could just donate like $2 or $5. If you were going to buy me a drink, you know what? Donate to my campaign instead, and I'll buy you a drink next time we're together. Guaranteed. How about that? Yeah, thanks, guys.
Hey, Cliff.
Just contribute a little whatever. It really helps a lot. Thank you.
Speaking of movies in production, we've got Chris Gore's doc, we've got your movie, and we've got this brand new Hineru shooting happening for a little movie called Lord of the Rings. This is the very first publicity photo of Rick Porras, who was on our show last week. The very first time he was ever photographed for a news article, Rick Porras on the set.
This is amazing.
This is from early 2000, late 1999, early 2000.
He was just a baby.
A baby.
He was just a toddler. Look at this youngin'. And here he is on the fence protecting the sheep farmland from spies crawling over it, because there were blokes who were crawling up the ledges to get to, like he described last week.
And
they were climbing up the ledge to get Helm's Deep, sneaking spy
we've got
photos.
We've got photos.
Crazy.
Hey, so if you caught the show last week, our 20th anniversary special, they talked a lot about the people that would sneak onto set of Lord of the Rings and try to take photos. And Rick was really proud and excited about shutting down those those cameras. Well,
He was.
today,
He was.
Now that you're here, I'm going to show you the photos that he thinks he confiscated.
Oh!
So the photographer gave him a busted, empty can of film.
Are
and
we revealing the secret spy photos?
We are revealing photos today, and this is just the first up. So I wanted to start the show with the first press photo we ever got for Lord of the Rings, and it was Rick Porras himself. I love you, Rick. Thank you for that story, but the fans always win.
I am so intrigued by this. Do you know what?
I have some surprises for you, Cliff.
This is going
you guys
to be
are going to have
a
great time.
At the opening of this show, before we unfold the Marauders map, we should say, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. Magic map opens up.
I will take the heat for anything.
No.
But this is from...
Are we breaking our NDA that we signed all those years ago? Because when I went as a member of the press representing the OneRing.net to the world premiere in New Zealand of Return of the King, I wrote my name and signed with blood, and the first blood of my firstborn child signed over to New Line Cinema on these non-disclosure agreements. Am I going to be in trouble today for revealing this?
No, we're only going to show things that happened up till the year 2000 until principal photography wrapped. Before you were involved on anything on set, we've got an amazing. So carrying on the theme of 20 years of Lord of the Rings, they started shooting on October 11th, 1999. I thought today we would go through some of the archives of the One Ring scrapbook, which is over 10,000 photos and scans of everything to do with Lord of the Rings production and the Hobbit production, including spy photos, articles in every language, casting announcements.
Our scrapbook goes back 20 years where we were showcasing exactly how the media was going nuts, how the fan base was eating their fingernails like keep nibbling on those nails, kids, because we were so nervous about what Peter Jackson was doing down there in New Zealand. We had no idea.
Wait, breaking
at this
news.
Point.
Cliff, breaking news.
What's breaking news?
I want to get your reaction.
Don't even.
Breaking
I love
news.
it when he does this to me. It's crazy.
Breaking news.
Who was cast next?
The J.R.R. Tolkien's Inklings Pub, the Eagle and Child, is closing.
No.
It's turning into a bed and breakfast. It's turning into a hotel. The pub is closing. It's going to be renovated into a hotel lobby.
Don't do that.
Your favorite pub in the whole world.
That is the best pub in the universe. The Eagle and Child, known to the locals as the Bird and the Baby, is what? Being closed?
Closed and being turned into a boutique hotel.
Turned into a boutique schmoozy, bougie.
Correct.
No.
Yes. You have been there. You've sat in the booth that Tolkien sat in. You've sat in the chairs.
We all sat in those chairs. That's what was the charm, the original, pure essence of the place was that it was still the same as it was when the Inklings sat there together, gathered around having a pint around the fireplace. And like the boys are depicted in that Tolkien movie, that wonderful movie by Dome Korokoske.
Beautiful movie.
They're all sitting around together, sharing their energy and trading their barbs against their
writing.
The
Eagle and Child is
criticizing
near
their
Oxford.
writing and being so loving and fun over a pint. And the
Inklings, the energy of
that area, they can't change it. They can't do it.
I believe Chronicles of Narnia would not have been written, and The Lord of the Rings would not have been finished if not for the meetings of the friends at the Eagle and Child.
They are
the
not.
pub of best friends, C.S. Lewis.
So they're doing some gentrified.
They're gentrifying the pub.
Yuppie version, Airbnb, stupid. Are they going to leave it alone downstairs where the
everything?
Pub is?
Nope. Everything's getting renovated, and the pub itself is going to turn into the hotel lobby.
No, meaning it won't even be open as a pub anymore?
Not for a couple years at least. Who knows what the lobby turns into? Maybe a side pub with $20 drinks. Who knows?
Heartbroken.
So
file that under first world problems, but that's really kind of awful. That's really, is there any preservationist out there from, the Tolkien community or Britain's famous and lauded Tolkien Society, the folks who keep his legacy pure from his writings and his works? Where's that? Where's the group of fans who tied themselves to the tree to stop it from being cut down? Why wouldn't we tie ourselves to the Bird and the Baby?
Separately from the Eagle and Child.
Oh, that's a bummer.
J.R.R. Tolkien's house, the home that he lived in with his lovely wife Edith that he wrote Lord of the Rings in, it is for sale.
It is preserved, though.
It's for sale. It was preserved. It is for sale, and the new owners can technically do anything they want with it. But they do have a little plaque they can always put on the ground saying Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings there. But
you're breaking my heart, dude.
So Tolkien's house is for sale, £6 million. Let's do a GoFundMe. I love you, Chris Gore, and I love you, producer, writer, director, going live. But
I'm not the director, but I will be the producer.
But
yes.
Let's put up a GoFundMe to save the Eagle and Child.
Let's buy Tolkien's house, guys. Okay, along with our impassioned pleas to
you should have Emiliano. We should have
hashtag, was it integrity, fidelity to Tolkien.
Fidelity.
Thank you. Fidelity. Hashtag fidelity to Tolkien.
So you've been in the pub.
Now our new one will be save the bird and the baby, but it's too late now. They've already made the deal, though.
So that it's breaking news. It sucks. The UK of Tolkien. Tolkien's UK is disappearing. His house is for sale, and his pub is on the chopping block.
You're breaking my heart, man. Is it possible that the fans could rally around and do 29 million gajillion online votes for the MTV Movie Awards so that Bilbo could win as best hero at the bloody thing? Do you think we could also be effective at a GoFundMe and save Tolkien's house?
Would you guys donate? We threw an awesome Hobbit party with support of the fans. Would you guys, everybody pitch in $100?
Where's the World Heritage Society? Where's Britain? Where's the United Kingdom's government and their preservationist historical society, whatever they're called? Where are they? On it. You guys get on.
The problem is the pubs are a business.
No, but the house needs to be saved.
The house does not need to be saved.
The house needs to be saved.
You've sat in the desk, the writing desk that Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings on, and it's in Indiana or Illinois.
It's in Illinois.
It's in Illinois.
It's in Wheaton
College in Illinois,
suburb of Chicago.
And by the way, Tolkien did not appreciate flying, and he never stepped foot in America. So it's weird that Tolkien's writing desk is in America.
It is odd.
When he never visited here.
I'll grant you that. But
so that's the breaking news. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm so sorry.
All right.
I don't know if a GoFundMe would actually fix this. Progress is a harsh mistress.
This is horrid. I mean, the area around Sarehole Mill, where he grew up as a boy, is a protected area. A lot of the other buildings associated with his life and places are memorialized. I mean, what are they going to do next? Like tear out...
Let me ask you this.
Are they going to tear out the entire little village cemetery in Oxford where he's buried?
Did you film inside the Eagle and Child for Ringers, Lord of the Fans?
We did not bring cameras inside the Eagle and Child pub. That was...
All right. Well, that was going to be a reason to donate to his new movie to get this poster, but it's not in the movie. I'm sorry.
No, but we did interview people right outside of Tolkien's windows where he taught class at Oxford Commons. We interviewed quite a few people there at Oxford. It was really great. And we interviewed Terry Pratchett.
Thank you, Pete.
And
thanks for the support.
Pete, I love you, Pete. You're the best.
He's got this is Pete's poster right here.
Yes.
And I'm in the movie, so if you want me to sign this just for you, Pete, I will sign this version of the poster right here.
Pete just bought a poster right now live on the show. I love you, brother. I appreciate that so very, very, very much. We're going to get Carlene to sign it. We're going to get Josh and Jeff and everybody to sign it. And if I'm lucky, and if he's hanging around, we'll see if we can get Dominic the next time we see him.
And maybe Tom.
Hey, yes, Tom DeSanto definitely would sign it.
Hey, so Cliff,
fantastic.
With
Thank
Tolkien's house for sale, the Lord of the Rings rights gone to the biggest billionaire in the history of the world, and the Eagle and Child being turned into a shishi hotel. I feel like the world is trying to tell us something, that there is a new Lord of the Rings in town. And just get used to the idea of change.
Yeah,
get used to the idea of change because the world is changing.
You're reading it. You're reading the tea leaves. Justin is reading the tea leaves. And I love you too, Ellen Monocrusos, who also
maybe I've been in the tea leaves.
Supported my film as well. Thank you, Ellen. She's our lighting designer who helped design our green Hobbit hole lights and things here at Scum and Villainy. Now, here's the thing, okay? The times they are changing. Bob Dylan keep on rocking in the free world, Neil Young. I get it. I know. But that doesn't mean that somebody can take like something that is so distinct, like, the caveman paintings that are in Werner Herzog's movie.
Yes.
You just can't go in there and like build a Starbucks in there or pull a taco truck in there.
But you can go
can't
to
do that.
Canterbury Castle, and there's a Starbucks right next to the entrance of Canterbury Castle, which I found amusing.
Get out.
I got a vanilla bean frappuccino because I felt if I'm going to go next to Canterbury Castle and there's going to be a church people there, I better have a white drink with white foam on it.
Go to the Cave of Forgotten Dreams, and instead of seeing, 75,000 Paleolithic art, prehistoric human art, you can just get a McRib. That's what's happening. Oh, my God. Stop it. What's happening to the Eagle and Child is criminal. The developers should be stopped. And it's too bad that the UK people didn't do something about it. But I want to save Tolkien's house.
People in the chat room are doing their research, and this is why we do the show. We love the real-time feedback of this show. Gothmog says the pub isn't to be touched yet. Helen F. says they don't have the planning permission. So
good. Thank you, Helen.
The correct status of this is that the developers, the new owners, they sold the property. They sold the building like a year, and they are petitioning to get the permits to do all of the construction now.
Fans, go to the town hall meetings in Oxford.
Yes.
Storm the town hall meetings.
Storm the town hall.
Pitchforks and bloody torches. Just
or
bring
pen and iPads.
Do like the citizens of Springfield would do in any given episode of The Simpsons and storm the town hall.
But this isn't a monorail. This is just a
like
hotel.
The
it's
monorail
a hotel
episode. It's just like the monorail episode.
But Cliff,
I love that episode. Don't miss your chance to protest, and don't let them get a permission to change the building. Guys, storm the castle.
But Cliff, don't you think that
have fun storming the castle?
If they turn it into a hotel, a boutique
Princess
hotel,
Bride
and they have a themed Tolkien room with maybe they collect some things and they get some things on loan from Oxford, don't you think it would be a ringer's dream to book the Tolkien hotel room at the Tolkien Hotel where the Eagle and Child used to be? Maybe with some manuscripts on the walls.
Build one down the block.
But don't you think fans would still appreciate this?
Leave the original as it was, because you feel like the spirits of the people are in the room with you when you're in that unchanged history of the room, when you're in the original aura of those people who are there. It should not be messed with. I'm telling you that it's priceless. It's irreplaceable. The nuance of the ghost of the past. You have to be there. I was there. I sat there for myself. I'm telling you as a first-hand person, I was there. And for it to be tinkered with in any other way, go down a couple of blocks down the road and open up your chain Tolkien-themed thing and gussy it up and make it all whatever you want to make it, but leave the original as another place to be worked adjacent with that business. Those guys can work in syncopation.
Okay.
They can have a good relationship together. My gosh.
Hey,
think twice, people. Think twice.
Speaking of changes, the internet is abuzz today that they finally got Sonic the Hedgehog right because
the redesign is much better
because of the fan reaction.
I agree.
And someone brought up the point that that they think this is the first time fans of the internet have dictated the visual look. And I had to remind someone on the internet on Twitter reminded us of Thorin's original look. We got the original photo, the first photo of Thorin Oakenshield, and he looked like a Klingon. Like he
sure did.
He had a widow's peak, and he had like this giant furrowed brow.
God.
It was a Klingon, and the reaction was so negative and so swift.
The reaction was swift.
They went right into production,
like Ian McKellen would say.
Changed his wig.
But, oh my God! They really did, because
he
really did look real Klingon.
Yeah.
But then with the adjustments also in costume and prosthetics, he came out like really like a great, awesome Thorin, but perhaps looking a few decades younger than he really would have looked in the book.
Right.
But that's
so
all right. I thought he would have looked like Ken Stott's age. He should have looked like he was Balin's age.
Well, I thought today, like with all this talk of like, do fans really have the power over filmmakers? It's a dialogue. It's not a power trip. It's a dialogue between fans and filmmakers. I thought carrying on from last week's conversation of a 20-year look back with the people that were making it, let's
Yes.
look back
Yes,
at the at the One Ring scrapbook and show you what people were actually saying in print, on our message boards. And I will say this,
God.
that a lot of people say that current film Twitter is highly negative, is quick to react, and very vocal, and this is a new thing that Twitter enabled. And I'm here to tell you, no. We've been dealing with fan reaction for a while. And Cliff, I just wanted to go through some of this stuff because
film Twitter is sometimes a little bit better than film YouTube. If you want to,
YouTube is a whole different cesspool. But hey, I was trying to find some of the oldest posts in our scrapbook, and I found this one with Rick Porce. And you know what the next article is after the producer of Lord of the Rings? The excitement that this giant cow was being cast in Hobbiton.
Oh my gosh, there was a news story for that huge.
There was a news
cow.
story because they found the biggest cow in New Zealand, and they needed a giant cow for all the actors to look like small hobbits next to a big cow, next to a normal sized cow.
I have to
so
say,
he got his own article.
That animal is amazing.
That's why the Lord of the Rings is amazing.
That animal is unbelievable.
So the fact that Twitter obsesses with every little detail, I'm telling you, we've already been down that path because we were obsessing over giant cows. And Cliff, you're still you're
Florence. Thank you, Florence. That's so awesome. Thank you.
We got
kindly.
another pledge on Indiegogo. Thank you
kindly, Miss Florence. You know what? We're going to be thanking you very kindly.
Hey, look at this. They had open
years
casting calls. That is the Lord of the Rings. This way, they had open casting calls for anyone tall and anyone short, and
special lineups for people because they wanted to trick the scale. Now, this was before Peter had the problem of shooting 3D as an element of the Hobbit trilogy. Without any of that stuff in his way for Lord of the Rings filming,
that's right.
He was able to rely on much older, what you'd call in-camera tricks. In-camera tricks.
And
that would never ever play on a 3D
And that's
shoot.
how they need to shoot the new Lord of the Rings show. And so this open casting call for size people is currently going on right now in New Zealand for Amazon's Lord of the Rings.
Did you see the casting announcement that we put on our Twitter feed not so long ago?
Yeah. If you're tall, if you're short, go.
You guys follow us on Twitter and hit announcements, alert, so that you get all of our tweets because we tell you when it's time to go down there. But you know what? The real news is that
still live.
The New Zealanders are going to get the jobs first. Don't run down there expecting to steal a job away from a perfectly capable New Zealander who's going to get cast before you. The government has a whole thing about that. As long as we say that.
If I'm correct, we got an Australian in the mix saying you're part of the Commonwealth. So if you're Australian, you can work in New Zealand.
Are you okay?
So if you are, what about UK? Is that part of the Commonwealth too? So if you're an English citizen, you can work in New Zealand. Look, hey guys, if you're a UK citizen, if you're part of the Commonwealth, if you're in Australia, you should be applying to work on Lord of the Rings right now.
Before Brexit happens, does that still include Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales?
Only the South.
Oh, and also Tasmania. Yes, and Cook Island, which is off the coast.
Cook Island.
Oh, who's calling us?
We got a call on the hotline.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, who's calling?
Hey, it's Brennan.
Hey, Brennan. How's it going?
What's up, Brennan?
Good. It's good to hear you guys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So, what brings you to the show? What's on your mind?
Well, I was remembering when the rumor was that Warwick Davis was going to play Frodo.
That's right.
Do you remember that announcement?
Yeah.
Who?
Warwick
and
Davis.
Oh, yeah.
That, of course, Sean Connery
That's right.
was supposed to play Gandalf.
That was on Ain't It Cool News a lot. Yes, that was heavily circulated.
Harry Knowles was driving those rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there another one that you remember? An early rumor?
Not an early rumor, but I remember some of the first pictures I saw from the set.
Yeah. Well,
do you remember that weird? It was a weird picture of. It looked like a bunch of hobbits and they all were like had weapons, and I don't remember if that was ever from Lord of the Rings.
You know what? I've got a bunch of photos.
You remember that one?
Yeah, I got a bunch of photos we're about to show on the show, and I think I know what you're talking about. So we're gonna jump back into the show and get through this photo gallery, and you might see the photo that you're talking about.
Going live.
But a lot of fond memories, I tell you.
Yes. Well, I appreciate. Great to hear your voice, and thank you for calling in.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for being on the show, man. Yeah, I do remember those early castings, but I'm so glad he reminded me. I'm really glad that he called in and reminded me of Warwick Davis, because everyone remembers the huge news about Sean Connery dismissing the script, saying, "I can't play this. I don't know the material." He didn't even want to say, "I want to try out Tolkien." He actually disavowed it, saying some famous quote like, "It doesn't make sense to me." And everyone was like, "Don't!" He passed up the role of a lifetime and ended up playing Alan Quatermain in the notorious Turkey, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is the role he took instead of taking Gandalf.
Well,
so I guess he understood that instead of Gandalf.
You just heard someone call the show. Save the phone number that is scrolling above our heads. Save the phone number, because we're going to be giving out tickets to see Lord of the Rings Extended Edition on the big screen.
2 pairs?
2 pairs.
We have 2 pairs of tickets to give away.
So save that number, because we're going to do a trivia later in the show.
Oh, are we going to do a trivia?
But, hey,
sugar.
But Cliff, I want to get. I have
to come up with a trivia question on the spot.
Yes.
Put me on the spot, you ass.
But speaking of being on the spot,
Fool
I wanted to take you down memory lane. This is the very first image we ever posted.
Those are the outer facades before the greens department had come in and grown the gardens.
Yes.
It was before the paint job. It looks really lovely. That's a really nice. Look, he is planting. Look at the guy. See him in the shot?
Yep.
There's one gentleman right there from the greens department that was hired by New Line Cinema. Actually hired by our friends Rick Porras.
That's right.
Who was just here on our show, and Mark Ordesky, to go and then they aged it for how long did they grow the vegetation and the flowers and the plants around the Shire?
Now
Wasn't it like 10 months of growth? And
that's
they came
right.
back 10 or 11 months later, and they'd gotten the grasses to grow tall enough and to make it look like a verdant, really
special water.
Verdant.
This is one of the very first spy photos that Rick Porras was talking about, taken from a mountain across the way that was took a day and a half through the bush.
You might be right, Jennifer. Jennifer Cosham, I'm sure, I think, yes, it was General Hospital character or Days of Our Lives, one of the two. Anyways.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
So
is this the upper hut?
This was an early sneak photo that we had of the building of Helm's Deep.
That is
in the quarry.
That is in an area of you wouldn't call it a suburb of Wellington, but it's a more rural area, about 60 minutes drive or 45 minutes drive up north.
That's right.
And way out of the Wellington Bay area, and it's called the Upper Hut, where they had an outdoor quarry.
That's right. But look at the early press for casting. They announced the casting of Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan as Mariotic and Pippin. But look at the headline.
Look at that baby face. Look at that baby face of Dominic.
But the context of this article is the fact that this may ruin Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, because they're hiring a Scottish guy. Billy's from Scotland, right?
And it was
and Dominic is from Manchester, and
they were trying to figure out, are they making this different branch of the Brandybuck family? Because the Brandybucks come from a different part of the Shire, and
no, it was more overtures than that. It was Frodo and Sam were from L.A., so he had a couple of Americans playing Frodo and Sam.
Yes.
You had a Scottish guy and then a guy from Manchester.
Yes.
And you're going to tell me that they all sound alike, that they all come from the Shire? So fans around the world in newspaper divisions all over the world were already suspect of the casting decisions.
They were like suspect over the dialects, but they didn't know that they hired a wonderful, wonderful dialect coach.
Right.
Who's going to help them, and who did the most work?
Look at this.
Billy Boyd and Dominic didn't change much of their accents. It was It was Elijah and Sean who had to do the most work.
Look at
And I
this.
thought they did a great job.
This is the very first New Zealand
That's
press.
her. That's Tahanu. She is one of the 4 founding members who created the OneRing.net 20 years ago.
And we were getting pressed. The One Ring was getting pressed for leaking all these photos, and they wanted to know what she looked like. Who is this spy in New Zealand? And so there's the first article mentioning the OneRing.net. Saying we want any gossip. And
this is fantastic. Like,
by the way, that headline still holds true. Psst, got any Hobbit gossip?
a couple, maybe a month and a half ago.
Got anything from Lord of the Rings gossip? We want to know.
Remember, we asked you guys, our audience, and we knew Amazon was listening. Of course, we asked you guys, look out for what's building in Auckland. They're opening up those new sound stages. There are people running around. We want the spy photos.
Call your friends.
Call your friends and get the spy photos from Auckland. You will see the new studio facilities and send it. You know what? My email is quickbeam@theonering.net, and there's also Spymaster.
But look at this, Cliff.
Spymaster@theonering.net.
Remember this big scoop? No one had seen this before.
Oh, that's mind-blowing. I remember that.
This is someone had rented a helicopter, paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
And they invaded the airspace over Mata Mata.
And this is the first shot of Hobbiton under construction. They didn't even show this in the appendices. This is the land being graded, the Hobbit holes being cut out, the farms being... This is the first photo we ever got of Hobbiton.
Mind-blowing.
Did this give you pause for concern, or was this everything you ever hoped for?
No, this was super soothing. It was a guarantee of... Yes. Oh, and then there was that. You know what? That looks
is the
like
Shire.
That looks like Professor Tolkien's watercolor that is most famously on the paperback of the Ballantine Books American edition of The Hobbit. Oh, I mean The Fellowship of the Ring, excuse me. Oh my God, that beautiful countryside.
But then like a week later,
so beautiful.
But then a week later, we got these photos from guys that were going out at 3 a.m. and storming the Helm's Deep set, giving a sense of scale.
They were sneaking around. They should not have been.
They were sneaking around.
Sneaky.
So we like, you can't tell what any of that is.
That is so fantastic.
These are the guys that Rick Porras was alluding to in last week's episode.
You know what?
By the way, I found this sneak photo from someone on production.
And for those people who are watching this in high def, I'm sorry we do not have better resolution. These were digital cameras
but look at
20
the
years
quality
ago and scans from newspapers.
This was a
20 years
total
ago.
secret photo of the tree that the 4 hobbits hide under from the Nazgul.
Yes.
And if you notice, there's a rope right at the top. It means they brought in that tree.
And planted it there on the hillside.
They brought in that tree
on the path of Mount Victoria.
Yep.
Where the path takes you. It takes you up to the beautiful memorial that's up there for the Everest.
That's right.
The Everest mountain climber.
And so the
Sir Edmund Hillary.
The announcement of the start of principal production. Cliff, do you remember this in Variety and Hollywood Reporter?
Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're looking at is the first thing that gave me, forgive my NC-17 language, but my biggest nerd boner ever. This is the ultimate nerd euphoria. This is the ultimate nerd aphrodisiac. Or euphoria, or whatever you want to call it. It's the drug. Love
Principal
is
photography
the drug
begins today. This was published October 11th, 1999.
I was just singing Roxy music. Love is the drug you're thinking of. Dude, I was just singing Brian Ferry and Roxy music. You missed it. Look at this. This Lord of the Rings trilogy thing appeared in the Hollywood Reporter, in Daily Variety, and it in trade magazines. It blew everyone's minds. And... You're still out of breath.
Still out of breath talking about this.
I have to tell you that it was only a month, maybe a few weeks after that was in print, that Keith Stern called me and said, I have news for you. Not only did Ian McKellen get cast as Magneto, but he also got offered another job too. And I said, what? He's going to be Magneto. That's so mind-blowing. That's perfect. What else could be better? What could be better? Think about it, Cliff. What could be better? And he teased me for several minutes. I'm like, what could be better than Ian McKellen as Magneto? And he said, remember that Lord of the Rings thing? And I went, and my heart leapt in my throat, and I realized Ian was going to be both Gandalf and Magneto. It was mind-blowing.
Hey,
just a couple weeks after that,
world
ad
exclusive.
appeared.
World exclusive. This is the
Insane.
first time we've ever seen in print.
Hi, Omar. Omar Rodriguez. Good to
This
see you
is
back in the chat.
Frodo and Arwen and the full Nazgul
Okay.
team. This is the first time
And
world
then-
exclusive sneak photos from the set published
Look.
in print.
Look at Elijah Wood in that outfit, and look at
Look at the Nazgul.
the Nazgul in the water. So perfect, so perfect. Oh, I remember that camera rig that is chasing after the
Liv
riders.
Tyler isn't even riding a horse.
She's riding a horse buggy.
But the horse riders are riding
they're-
horses.
They're riding a horse buggy.
And look at this.
She's-
We had photos of the Nazgul having a drag.
They're having a drag and a cigarette.
In between.
Look at those guys.
Isn't that wonderful?
No, hold on that. Please. That is a moment. Crystal, did you see that? That is a moment. And ladies and gentlemen, this, freeze frame this. And I want to see this on Twitter, okay? With hashtag, okay? Nazgul drag. Nazgul drag. That's it. Freeze frame that. Send that to me on Twitter at QuickBeam2000. I love that. That is so awesome.
And look at these early sneak
love
photos from the set. I can't quite place
And
those
send it to RuPaul.
characters.
Send it to RuPaul's Drag Race and tell her Nazgul drag.
Rayapua.
Now that is a word you need to learn how to pronounce because it is a holy site. It's a holy location.
How do you say it?
It is a sacred mountain.
Just say it.
Ruapehu.
Ruapehu. This is when they.
That is Mount Ruapehu.
It was newsworthy that they would hire a plane to shoot the mountains around Ruapehu.
Yes.
It was newsworthy.
Indeed
that
it
Peter
was.
Jackson. I mean, this is the government of New Zealand really
And-
allowed them to do things that they would never.
And so did the tribes. The tribes also allowed them.
And I remember months and months.
But there were certain areas they were not allowed to go.
I remember months
You know
and months of fan dialogue of like what this is.
Now, at some point in time, people argued that might have been something related to Rivendell.
Yes.
They didn't know, and then, lo and behold, they figured out this was the Green Dragon Inn, the actual Green Dragon Inn, which is now a permanent place in Matamata.
It
where
is.
you can go and have. Now, here's the thing: you want to compare.
Moving on.
No, you want to compare the
So-
reconstruction of the Eagle and Child to them making the Green Dragon Inn a permanent, place where you can go and have a picnic and a lunch and a beer.
Here's the type of photos that we were getting, and this is why we want everyone in Auckland to get their cameras ready and find friends in Auckland because
What is
we were
that?
getting spy photos of trucks being hauled up with pieces of the Lord of the Rings set, and we
Do
would
you know what?
we
Those
would
are-
publish it.
That is carpentry, wood, and plaster and paint.
Yeah, for night shoots.
Oh, they were sending it all up. Look at those dudes. Those are the Urukai.
Those are the
stunt
Urukai
performers. Look at them.
So this is the roll of film that Rick Porras was talking about of like, hey man, we don't really want to show Helm's Deep and
Wow.
let your photos. So these are the
Wow.
photos that we received. See, this is from a tall mountain that is just a few hundred,
Love that.
several hundred yards away.
This is one of my favorite all-time archive photos of the exterior of the Helm's Deep.
Now
I
look at
love
this.
that. Oh, you recognize that door? That's going to be Samwise's home at 3 Backshot Lane.
And this is them
Number 3.
making it in 1999, cutting out the hobbit holes,
into the
starting
hillside.
to dress. These are all secret set photos
I
that
love
we were
that.
not supposed to have, and we were dripping on everything. Why would this be say danger? Keep out.
Now, you know what? Hey, Erovandi says, this is making me really excited for when we start getting pics of Amazon stuff.
That's right. Look, we
Thank
didn't
you for
even
that
know
in the
any of
chat.
these actors, so we had to put their names above their heads because we didn't know who they were and what they
But
look like.
I hate to tell our live chat audience, but we don't expect Amazon to release any of these types of behind-the-scenes photos at all.
Well, they should. We're
Well,
saying
they
that
should.
they should.
They really, really should. We don't expect
This
them
was
to.
another
but they
press
should,
hit that
yes.
says for an edgier if less reliable view, check out the fan website theonering.net. Photos sneaked by on set spies are posted along with reports from fanatics who risk life and limb for a glimpse of an orc fight.
Do you believe that? Was this from People magazine?
Yes.
For an edgier, if less reliable view, check out the fan sites. Photos sneaked by on-set spies are posted along with reports from fanatics, yes, who risk life and limb for an orc fight. Do you know what we did? We risked life and limb to get those spy photos.
And then early on, we got a hold of a map of the state forest, New Zealand state forest, and where they had mapped out potential filming locations for Lothlorien and Fangorn and all of the forest locations.
That's fantastic.
So this basically, by posting this map, we were able to encourage fans to stake out their claim in the forest, hide out,
backpack into the bush, into the New Zealand bush, under the ferns, where they would normally film scenes from Hercules and Xena, Warrior Princess.
That's right.
Because Peter actually said on record, or somebody from Weta also said, we don't want our exterior shots of the New Zealand landscape to look like Xena, because it was still at the height of popularity for those two shows.
Cliff, do you remember this first publicity photo, the first ever official publicity photo?
Was that from Entertainment Weekly?
Yes.
I do remember this. This is insane.
What did this?
Oh my God, that's Gandalf's cart. That is Gandalf's fireworks cart, dude.
Did this cement your positivity for the film?
Yeah, well, that's one of those things where you had a nerd moment and you said, okay, hashtag fidelity to Tolkien.
Really? That was it?
Yes, that would definitely be one of those moments.
And Cliff,
we're running out of time. Do you want me to tell you the quick story about this?
I want to tell you. Tell us
the quick story,
because this caused so much uproar on the message boards.
It did, and it caused Ian a lot a trouble.
This would basically
McKellen,
be 100,000 retweets on Twitter today. This would get 100,000 retweets on Twitter.
Ian McKellen was in a position to not reveal anything about his costume.
No, Gandalf was one of the closely helped secrets of the entire movie.
And he sent this to his webmaster for publication on McKellen.com, where it still exists in the galleries to this day. And he revealed exactly what Gandalf looked like: his hair, his wide-brimmed hat. But he did not show himself at all.
This was huge.
This was the biggest crazy moment. My gosh, thank you for bringing us into this memory box, Mr. Justin. Can I get a big round of applause, everybody on the internet, for Justin helping us access the scrapbook? But you know what? It's still there yourselves. If you guys are online, browsing around at our main website, hey, Harley, what's going, girl? Hey, how's Mr. J? Is he still in jail? Yeah. We just lost our G rating. Thanks, Squid. All right, you guys, thank you for checking out our show here on theonering.net. And Justin, I know he wants me to point out that, again, you can find all this amazing history and all this community that we have built, and we're kind of, I think we're kind of proud of it. For 20 years on, we still have one of the most vibrant and intelligent and engaged communities of fans here. We're going to wrap up our show on theonering.net. Go and take a look at our scrapbook, our history box of memories and magic. It's right there on theonering.net, and check it out. There's also my original articles that I wrote for Green Books, and that's under library. You can look in our library on our main page. One last request: if you want this Ringers poster, there's only a few left on Earth from my award-winning documentary, Ringers Lord of the Fans. Go to Indiegogo/Going Live Movie. You'll find it there. I love you guys for following us on theonering.net social media. Thank you for being with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and all those fun things. You know what? I'm on Instagram myself at QuickBeam2000. Oh my gosh, what happened to my voice? So thank you, Crystal, for being our sidebar peanut gallery, the very best from Down Under. Do you come from the land down under? And I know you. You're awesome. It's so good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, until next Tuesday, come back and see us live right here for Torn Tuesday at theonering.net for everything that is forged by and for the fans of J.R.R. Tolkien. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Buenos noches y buena suerte.